Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting session for Perf Talks. Today we are going to talk about Windows Server monitoring, or how do we monitor a Windows server for performance even if we do not have any tool or any external utility or any application performance monitoring tool with us, and how we can utilize the native utilities, native tools provided by Windows itself, and do the server side monitoring. We will start with the about a quick introduction about the Perfmon utility provided by the Windows. Then we will talk about how do we use that Perfmon utility, and at the end we'll also share you the list of key performance indicators which we should monitor while we are monitoring the server performance. Although there are a lot of things, when we go into very detailed analysis we may need more counters, but we'll also share with you few major counters that are there. So do watch till the end. So a quick introduction about myself. I am Jitin Chadda. I am founding director at Perfeasy Enterprises Private Limited. I have 14 plus years of experience with 140 plus assignments, and I have trained more than 100 professionals till now. I like to support people and help you out. So in case you feel that I can be of any help to you, you need any guidance or you need any help, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. And I would also like you to join the Facebook community, Performance Testing Experts. Here we share our thoughts, we share our experiences, we ask questions from other people, and there are a lot of exciting things are happening. So do join this community. Now let's come to the topic of the today, that is Perfmon. Perfmon or Performance Monitor. This is a default utility provided by Windows operating system. So if you have a Windows server or a Windows laptop or a Windows desktop, this Perfmon utility or the performance monitoring utility will definitely be there in your system. So anyone can use that. So let's stop these theoretical things and go and see how we can use this practically. So how do we start Perfmon? Just click on the search bar at the bottom and type Perfmon 1, or we can also do a Windows R. In the command prompt type Perfmon, I'm sorry, my bad, Perfmon, and click enter, and it would open the performance monitoring counters. So this is the default window which is accessible by default. So what are the steps we need to perform to create a Perfmon counter? Expand this data collector set, right click on user defined and create a new data collector set. So we are going to create data collector set. So click here, we need to give a name. So let's give perf talks. So do not use that create from a template, use create not manually. So make sure to click this radio button, create manually. Click next, select performance counter. So radio button selected should be create data logs, and we should select the checkbox for performance counters. So although these other options also have a lot of utility in different situations, but right now if we are going to monitor a particular or specific parameters or the key performance indicator from our Windows server, so we need to select the performance counter only. Click next. So this is the main window where we will add the specific parameters. So click on add and you will see hundreds of counters that are provided by Windows. So if we have, so this utility can be used to do a very detailed analysis of the server side resources like CPU, network, memory. So even if you are running a Tomcat or any other Apache or any other server also which is not a Microsoft product, still you will can get a lot of information related to what is happening on the servers. So but if we have an IIS server running on a Windows server or SQL server, Microsoft SQL server database running on this, we can get a lot of information. So we may not even need any other profiler, and we can get all the details related to how many deadlocks are occurring, and a lot of data related to ASP.NET counters, and a lot of stuffs are available. But so not wasting a lot of time, so I am going to tell you how we can add. So here we have the lot of counters that are available, so we need to choose and pick like which counter we are going to monitor and what value it is going to give. So I am going to tell you how we can add. So here, let's say I need to monitor the processor usage or the CPU usage of my system. So just click on this small icon so that the processor thing is expanded. In the processor, I am going to monitor percent processor time. At the bottom you see instances. So first one is the total. So if I select total, it would give me the time or the processor usage of the total system. I can also select all instances, or I can also monitor a specific core of my Windows CPU. So but here today we are going to monitor only total CPU consumption. So I am selecting the instance as total and add. Okay, let's add one more counter for the memory. So memory, so this is sorted alphabetically. So for memory, so we need to go upwards. So expand the memory, go a little down. I need to select how much M bytes are available during my test. Click on add, click on OK. Now another important thing that we need to make sure is how much sample interval we should give here. So there are no fixed rules, but I can give you some guidelines. If we are running a small test, let's say 10 or 15 minutes or a half an hour kind of test, you should give like 1 second to 5 to 10 second kind of interval. If we are going to run 3 hour, 4 hour kind of test, so let's give around 20 second, 30 second, 40 second kind of interval. But if we are going to run a long duration test, let's say 8 hours, 10 hours, 2 days, 3 days, so we can even give 2 minutes or 1 minute kind of interval. Today we are going to run a very small session, so I am going to give 1 second interval only here. So just click on finish. There is one more step before we can start running the counters. So double click here, the counter you created, you will see the data collector 01. So right click on this, properties, you see the log format. There is a drop down available for the log format. We need to select comma separated. It provides us 4 options, and by default binary is selected. So but we need comma separated, a CSV file will be created. So select comma separated, make sure we have given the interval as 1 seconds. So apply, OK. Now the counter is ready. Right click to start the counter. Now it has started and it is creating the file at this place. When we should use this counter, or how we should use this counter, like how is this related to our load test execution? So as a thumb rule, make sure you start this perf mon counter before you start running the test. Let's say I am going to run a 100 user test, so start perf mon counters, wait for a few seconds so that the initial data before the test starts can be captured in the perf mon counters. Now go to your tool, start the load test, let the counter keep on running for that duration. Once the test stops, let the counter still run for a few more seconds or few more minutes. Then stop the counter once a few minutes have elapsed or a few seconds have elapsed from the test completion. Why we should start it before completion of test, before starting the test or after completion of test? The reason is because we need to see what was the initial statistics on the server side, how much memory consumption was happening by default, how much CPU consumption was happening by default before we started the test, and we will see, let's say x was the values before starting the test, then during the test these values increase to x plus 20, x plus 30, so memory consumption would increase, the CPU consumption would increase. After the test, the expectation is the values should come down to the initial state. So that we can get a comparative view, we should always keep the counters running some extra time from the load test execution. Okay, so let's stop this counter and see where this counter is created. So it is created in C perflogs admin. So let's select this, go to C drive, perflogs admin, we have the name is perftalks, continue. So this is the folder which contains my CSV file that is created. So let's double click and see what is the data that is captured. So I added two counters, one was available M bytes and one was processor time. So it has given me complete data. So I'm going to skip the first instance because during starting some data is missed. So let's copy this data, or let me copy the both the date as well as the value, and I am just copying in another tab. First one is the time. So if you see, it gives me the specific time, so when a particular spike went up or when something happened. So, and this counter is memory or available memory. Sorry, available memory, the unit is MB. Okay, so I am just going to select Control Shift down but value, and I am going to create one chart and see what was the memory consumption. As I was not doing anything initially, I was doing something when I started the counter, so the available memory was less. Then I was speaking and I was not doing any activity on the system, so the available memory rose up. So while we are monitoring the servers, the real life situation, what would happen, there will be some values for the initial values for the available memory, then we will see a dip in the available memory because the application would consume the memory on the server, and then it is again expected that available memory should again come back to the initial state. So I believe this is after this you will be able to create a perfmon counter and you will be able to monitor and capture the statistics. So these are the CPU consumption statistics for the specific time. If I want to see what happened at 5:46 PM, so how much CPU consumption was happening? 17.9% total CPU consumption was happening on the system. So a lot of analysis can be done here. So today we will not be able to complete the topic related to the analysis. So let's move on to some of the counters or the important performance indicators that we should add in when we are setting up the perfmon counters and we should monitor. So although Windows provides hundreds of counters, so these are the major counters that we should monitor the first level, and based on the analysis of these statistics, we may need to add more detailed counters as well. So first one is the processor. Let me just clarify this object. Object is this one, processor, the blue ones. The counter is which appears when we click on the icon, arrow icon, and a particular object is expanded, and instance is the bottom, the total values. So total 0, 1, 2, 3, these are the instances that we can select. So first one category is the processor. So we need to monitor, most important thing is how much CPU consumption is happening on my server when my I am putting a load of 100 users or 500 users or 20,000 users. So, and object we need to select is the processor. Counter we should select is processor time. For the processor object we should select processor time, interrupt time, privilege time. So let me give you a quick introduction about this. Processor time is the total CPU consumption on the server. Interrupt time is how much interruptions happened or how much time of the CPU was consumed for interruptions, and percent privilege time is the time or the CPU time consumed by the privileged processes or the processes called by the operating system. So privilege time is given to the operating system processes. We'll have once some future session where we'll also talk about these counters and what are the meanings of this. So today we will just quickly go through the list of counters, and we, for system monitoring, we should also select the system object. So it will also be available on the perf counters, and the counter we need to select is processor queue length, so that we can see how much queue is happening on the processor. Context switches, this is the switches the CPU makes between different processes that are running, or the different threads that are running on the cell. So more parallelism, more context switches will happen. So there can be situation where the context switches are happening, taking more time as compared to the actual processing that is taking place in the server. Memory consumption, so available memory, how much available M bytes are there. Pages per second, how much pages per second are happening. Cache faults, how much cache faults happened on the server. We also need to select another object, server, and select pool non-paged failures. So in the initial phase also, we should also monitor our specific processes also. For example, if we are monitoring IIS server, so we need to monitor W3WP process, and if there are 4 W3WP, monitor all the 4 W3WP. So you see, monitored processes I have mentioned. So it would depend on what process you are running, or which process is most important to our test. For example, if we are monitoring a database server, which is SQL Server, so SQL Server process should be monitored. So process page fault per second we should monitor. So process will give me the details related to the specific process. First, where we selected the processor, it will give me the statistics related to the complete server side or the complete data related to that system. But if we select the process, it would give me the data related to specific process. So working set, private bytes, and handle count we should also monitor. Next we should monitor is disk I/O. So there are mostly one is the CPU consumption, which is important, memory, network, and disk I/O. 4 parameters that are most important thing from the hardware consumption perspective on any of the server, on any of the OS. In Linux server, in Solaris server, on a Unix server, you would also need to monitor these 4 parameters: CPU, processor, memory, network, and disk I/O. So for disk I/O, the object that we need to select is the physical disk, and the counters that we need to select is average disk queue length, average disk read queue length, and disk write queue length. So first will give us the complete length or the queue length on the disk, and we will also need to know if more reads are getting queued up or more writes are getting queued up. We should also need to monitor the disk seconds per read, how much disk seconds are consumed for read, average disk second per transfer, for per transfer how much disk seconds are utilized, and average disk bytes per transfer, how many bytes are utilized on the disk for each transfer, and how much disk writes are happening per second on the physical disk. And we should also select specific disk instances where we are trying to monitor the disk usage. The network consumption is the 4th parameter, which is very important thing, because there can be a situation that where our processor is very good, our memory consumption is also good, so our IIS server or the database server is giving the throughput, a very high throughput is given, but our network is not able to sustain that much utilization. So to monitor that, select network interface and bytes received per second, byte sent per second, so that we know how much number of bytes we are sending or how much bandwidth sent and received we are utilizing. Packets received discarded and packet outbound discarded. This will also give us the data or the statistics related to how many packets are getting discarded if there is a network issue there. As I already told that Windows provides a lot of more counters So if we have IIS server, so we would need to also monitor the .NET related data, ASP.NET related data. So there are a lot of parameters for ASP.NET also available, or the IIS server available. If we have a SQL server, so we have a lot of database related counters also available. So so we'll have another session where we'll talk about these also. But any one of you, if you want to like have this list of counters, please comment and write down your email ID and ask us, and we'll share this sheet with you so that we can also utilize. And I will also be very happy if you can share your feedback about the session. And thank you.